I saw the same thing you all did yesterday. Thing is, I don't really want to talk about it, so I'm not going to really talk about it. I'm really not going to. I'm not going to talk about disgraced journo Jeffrey Toobin making his return to TV after an 8-month leave for exposing himself on that Zoom call back in October. I really don't want to get into that. I'm not going to get into that, no matter how badly sophomoric, big-headed James Kelly would like me to, and the rest of you want me to. However, I also know that if I don't address this on some level, you're just not going to stop. That none of you will leave me alone until I at least reference it somehow. And by the way, I don't want to spend this very busy Friday morning / afternoon into my evening fighting you all off. Now, again, I don't want to set a precedent that you think you can wear me down, therefore I'll just do it. I don't want you to wreck my show or my night, though. So what do you say, in the spirit of compromise, we meet in the middle? I don't really talk about it per se, but I will play you the sound. And I'll let the audio do the talking for me. I'll let the audio do the talking for itself. That way you and James Kelly get what you want. I acknowledge it. I get what I want by not really discussing it. Is that a fair compromise? If we meet in the middle like that? Let's give it a shot. So old Tubes returns to CNN for the first time in a long time. Now, if you don't know why, and you've been under a rock, I mean, this is the one thing we all know why, right? We all know what happened. There's nobody listening right now that does not know this guy or what this guy did. But if for whatever reason you don't know Jeffrey Toobin or why that's a big deal, don't worry. His colleague, Allison Camerata, will fill you in.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Hello, Allison.
It's been a while.
It has been a while, indeed.
I feel like we should address what's happened in the months since we've seen you, since some of our viewers may not know what has happened. So I guess I'll recap.
Help yourself.
Okay. In October, you were on a Zoom call with your colleagues from the New Yorker magazine. Everyone took a break for several minutes, during which time you were caught masturbating on camera. You were subsequently fired from that job after 27 years of working there. And you, since then, have been on leave from CNN. Do I have all that right?
You got it all right. Sad to say.
Only thing missing was that guy going with a hammer emoji. Nailed that. Hey, listen, you know I'm not talking about this, right? And I'm not. But holy hell. Like, what are we doing? No, seriously, what are we doing?
Like, what are we doing?
Like, what are we doing?
What am I doing here?
Well, what am I doing here?
What am I here for?
What am I here for?
What are we doing here?
I'm not asking the jungle. I'm pretty much asking mankind. Like, what are we doing here?
What are we doing here?
As a species, how is what I just played even possible? How did CNN welcome this dude back to TV after what he did? What are we doing here? How is the segment even a thing? The hell does this guy get a second chance? I know, again, this country is extremely forgiving, and especially of celebrities and public figures. But the last thing anybody wants to see is anything more from Tubes. Everyone saw more than enough on that Zoom call. And now this dude's back on TV. How? How? If your co-anchor has to reset the fact that you were caught pleasuring yourself on a Zoom call and you confirm it's true, maybe you should not be a paid public figure anymore. Am I taking crazy pills? Because when you get right down to it, believe it or not, there are a couple of things. There are some things that you simply cannot apologize for. And that's one of those things. And no, clones, I did not miss the appropriate or so apropos choice of words when he said to her, quote, help yourself. She said that she wanted to reset the situation, and his immediate response was, help yourself.
I guess I'll recap.
Help yourself.
Okay.
The king of helping himself just said, help yourself on TV in a segment that they were doing about him helping himself. Is this real life?
To quote Jay Leno, what the hell were you thinking?
I didn't think I was on the call. I didn't think other people could see me.
You thought that you had turned off your camera?
Correct. I thought that I had turned off the Zoom call. And, you know, I have spent the 7 subsequent months, miserable months in my life, I can certainly confess, trying to be a better person. I mean, in therapy, trying to do some public service, working in a food bank, which I certainly am going to continue to do, working on a new book about the Oklahoma City bombing, but I am trying to become the kind of person that people can trust again.
You're trying to become the kind of person that people can trust again as he works in a book plug. Yeah, because what's more trustworthy than that? I have learned from my mistakes. I'm trying to be a better person. Read my new book. A freaking book plug in the middle of that. I'd ask if this dude has any shame, but clearly he does not. Not on the Zoom call, not today. Yo, Tubes, you were caught with your pants down on a Zoom call. What do you have to say for yourself? Well, I thought my camera was off. And can you buy my new book about the OKC bombing? So why don't we just keep moving so I can get this thing over with as quickly as possible?
Have you ever thought about what it must have been like to be on the receiving end of that Zoom call?
Well, I haven't just thought about it. I've spoken to several of my former colleagues at The New Yorker about it. And, you know, they were shocked and appalled.
They were? Why? I love that she sets that up with, have you ever considered what it was like to be on the other end of that, receiving that? And his response was, oh no, I have. I have discussed it with them. How, bro? Did you call up those colleagues and say, hey, you got a minute? I need to know, what was it like to be on the receiving end of that? You discussed it with them. Did you get into it? Did you ask the appropriate follow-up questions? Can't imagine what would be shocking and appalling about that.
Shocked and appalled.
Hey, look, I don't want to give anybody credit here, but credit to the co-anchor, a little bit anyway, for asking this next question, because it was so unnecessary that you almost get the feeling that she enjoyed tearing Tubes apart on TV. Maybe you remember that everybody was coming for this guy. Everybody. Even Oj. O.J. Simpson had a Tubes take last year that he posted on Twitter.
Damn, Jeffrey Toobin. At least Pee Wee Herman was in an X-rated movie theater. I'm just saying.
O.J. right there officially became a triple murderer with that. Brutal. And then check out the interviewer yesterday bringing it up.
Even O.J. Simpson took a swipe at you.
You know, my dad used to say something. He used to say, you can judge a person by their enemies. And if my enemy is O.J. Simpson, that is okay with me.
Huh? Hey, Tubes, your pops should have saved that advice, whatever the hell that means. And instead, he should have told you, shut the lid on your lapper before you start taking your pants off. That's the advice you needed from your old man. Anyway, I literally cannot believe that this is real life. I can't believe we live in a country where that guy, after what he did, was on TV again, weaving in book plugs in between non-apologies. What a world. What a world. And that I let you clones back me down and got me to talk about it. Can we move on? And Tubes, like, there's this tiny, tiny, tiny piece of me that almost respects you re-entering the fray and getting back into this fight. Because let me tell you something, Tubes. As somebody who was a part of an event, an episode, yo, my man, it does not go away. And as bad as my episode and event went for me, I didn't do what you did. All right? So never mind how horrible the last 7 months have been. Even though everybody moves on to the next thing, whatever the next thing is, you're going to get about 50 more years of that, all right? As an example, me, I had a bad night. I had a really bad night. I'm here. I bounce back. I know you're looking to do the same thing. But me, if I got caught letting it all hang out like you did, and the entire world saw it, I'm digging myself a shallow grave. And I'm going to call it a day, or probably a life. Not old Tubes, no. My man's got a book to sell. And this incredible delusion that somehow, some way, even one single person in this country is going to forgive and forget his act. I'm here to tell you, Tubes, that's not happening. That's not happening. They put him back on TV. Hey, Jim. Hey, Jim. Did you see the Tubes poked his head out? Also, he was on CNN. You see, Brett? This is why I don't give you what you want. Because unlike you, I am responsible. I know where the line is. And even as far into my career as I am, I still walk on that line. I dance on that line. I'll even jump over that line a little bit. Come back. Not you morons. I can't trust you with a topic like that. Remember, I'm doing this show in the middle of the day. I'm doing this show with a corporation that is the Tiffany Corporation. I have to be very responsible. Some of you morons don't understand the meaning of the word responsible. This is why I can't always give you what you want. But I'm going to say this. There are certain events in this world, and I try and stay out of politics as an example on this show. There are certain things that really are truly transcendent. I'll give you that. And when you have the body of work that I have and the amount of goodwill I have in the bank that I can do this, right? I've got the liberty. I have the liberty to talk about those things that transcend even sports. However, as important as the ability, or I should say the liberty is, I have the ability. Most of you do not. I'm not censoring you. I'm not saying that you can't do what you want to do on these other platforms. You do you. You do it on Twitter. You do it on Instagram. You do it wherever you are. Just don't bring it around my show and think that I'm going to do it with you.
Sad to say.
Because you know what I like? I like having a job. I like being able to provide for my family.
I
What
didn't think
don't
other
like-
people could see me.
Yeah. What I don't like is some of your reaction to it, all right? Me, smart. You, not so much.
I thought that I had turned off the Zoom call.
Yeah, well, you were wrong, Tubes. Dude, it's not that hard, you know? It's that little white light.
I didn't think I was on the call.
Yeah, I hope. Or were you thinking, hey, showtime, yo? Big stage. Man, just close the laptop, dude. Unbelievable.
Sad to say.
My man, you know he worked up for that performance, too. You know, he's like, this is it. I'm coming back. Temporary setback for a much bigger comeback. Yeah, I doubt that. I doubt that. That works on a lot of things. My man, this is not a torn ACL. This is not an MCL injury. This is not a temporary setback setting up for a much bigger comeback. Believe that. I got to get out. God damn. Not only did you get me to talk about it, you got me to talk about it too long. And now I'm off the clock. Now, that was not a full GD blast. That was a damn. At least I hope. Anyway,